Hello guys and welcome to my new tutorial about the Blender Muscle Tools add-on 1.1. And yes, you perhaps think, but you have yesterday or last week you made a tutorial too. Yes, but now some of these options changes and have changed, and yeah, I will show you some important parts of this add-on changed, and I will show you which of these are and how you can use the add-on from scratch again. Okay, let's begin. The Muscle Tools add-on is available on the Blender Cookie Market. Yes, this time really. So I put the link in the description, and you will see this link also. And yeah, okay. If you downloaded the Blender Muscle Tools, you can see some kind of zip file. And in this case, it's here in my on my screen. And you first have the Muscle Tools add-on version 1.1 or 1 -1 .py and a readme txt. In the readme txt you have some information about if you perhaps found some issues or errors and you want to contact me, or if you have some positive critique or negative critique about the Muscle add-on, then you can contact me under my email address, and stuff like this is inside the readme.txt. And the Muscle Tools add-on itself, of course. So let's first bring this to our desktop. Okay, if you did this, you probably find this under the user preferences, under the add-ons tab, and you can go to install from file. Then you click your desktop and choose the .py file. Install from file, and as you probably see, under the rigging tab here in our add-ons panel, you can find the Muscle Tools. If you expand this, you can see some information about this muscle tool and where to find. So let's just enable this and close this, and as you can see, nothing happened. This is not really correct, because the left middle of our screen there is a tab called Muscle, and if you open this you can see a cool interface. So fine, let's start. Before you do anything with your muscle system, you have to reset your group name. And what this group name is, it's just a group name defines just how your muscle later is called. So for example, if you want to call your muscle later biceps, then you have to type this here in our muscle name entry. So let's just reset the group name, so in this part should never stand unused. Okay, so fine, if you click reset group name, you can see the muscle name switch to name. Okay, fine. Now these options are not currently available because you have no muscle in your scene at the moment. You can convert laterly objects to muscles, and how this works I will show you in a quick second. So let's first add some kind of object, for example a cube. Bring this cube to the center. It's not needed. Because the other will do later. But yeah, I just do it. So for example, let's just make a kind of muscle. So let's press extrude, scale this, and let's scale this on the x-axis, on the y-axis I mean, so that you have some kind of muscle. So fine. This looks like a muscle or something like this. You can scale this down. Yeah, fine. So this is called cube. You don't have to call this by your own in the top right corner in the outliner. This is not needed because when you convert the muscle, then everything will be renamed. Okay. So let's do this. I talked all the time from it, but let's do this. You don't need these options. These are currently only available if you convert it or if you have a muscle in your scene, but this is not the case, so let's just make one. In the muscle name group, let's type a good name, for example, biceps underscore L. Okay. Every time it's very advisable that you have a good naming convention. So here's the muscle, and let's just press convert to muscle. Every time you hover a button, you can see what the button does. In this case, converts the selected object to a muscle object. And all tooltips are very interesting and sometimes help you to better your understanding. For example, select first muscle then skin or something like this. So enough talked, so let's just convert to muscle. And as you can see, the object gets converted into some kind of muscle. And also you can see these options at the top are now available. So fine. And yeah, we could smooth this muscle so it looks a little better. And yeah, now let's start with the options or the attributes at the top. These are some kind of attributes which helps you to configure your muscle well, and yeah, look how to work with this. So first you have the view resolution. That's the resolution how this muscle is. Yeah, that's just the detail of the muscle. So let's just switch back to flat to visualize this a little better. And if you press view resolution and increase, or yeah, if you increase the number or change the value, then you can see the muscle gets more detailed. Yeah, this looks very nice. Fine. Then you have the possibility to do this in the render. So for example, if I move to this position, and here you can see the view resolution is at 0 and the render resolution is perhaps 2. Then you can see in the view this is very rough, and if you render the muscle you can see that there is a good resolution. This is just for saving, for example, a computer, for example RAM or something like this. So the muscle shape, this is very useful because the muscle shape is okay, let's just delete the camera. The muscle shape is good for define custom shapes of the muscle. So how you can do this, you can see if you change the values nothing happens. That's because you haven't defined any muscle shapes. So let's just switch to our keyframes here. Here you have the render tab, then some other, but we want the object data tab. And this is here at the top. If you go to this panel, you can see under the shape keys panel, two shape keys. One it's called biceps L thin and one is called biceps L fat. If you want to edit a shape key, you just have to select this and select your object and go now to the edit mode. If you now, for example, we have the thin, then you could probably make this thinner. You can do or some other stuff as well. You can make this muscle very funny, or perhaps rotate this or something like this, just to see how this works. But now let's just make this thinner, and for example biceps L fat. So let's select this and now you can make the muscle even bigger. Okay, fine. And now let's close this and let's go back to our muscle shape. If you increase the muscle shape, you can see the muscle gets bigger. If you make this muscle shape lower, you can see the muscle get thinner. For example, if we would go back to our shape keys, select our muscle L thin and make this some weird stuff. For example, something like this. And yeah. Okay, this looks kind of weird. And now increase the muscle. You can see, increase the muscle shape. You can see this looks funny, but yeah. Okay, I will do this way. Let's bring this muscle shape back to 0. That's the normal muscle shape. And if you increase the now let's go to the base length. If you increase the base length, you get a gap between the controller, this is this thing here, and the armature. This is of course this little funny thing. So let's select our muscle object and let's increase the base length. And you can see if you move this, you have a standard distance or a gap between these two objects. Okay, fine. You can bring this up to 2 and the minimum is 0 for the final position. And yeah, also you can see if you select any other objects, and nothing of these objects will be shown as a muscle, and only the active object with the attributes. There, yes. Now let's see what the volume does. The volume just defines the volume, how big this muscle can be if you stretch or squash this muscle. So let's just bring this, for example, up to 40. And if you now bring this together, you can see the volume is much bigger than if you bring this back to 0. Okay, but this works not only for the squash, it works also for the stretch. So if we bring this volume to, for example, 40, and you can see this gets much thinner than, for example, if you bring this to 0. So the volume defines how big or thin the muscle gets if you stretch or squash it. Then we have a very interesting area. This is called the muscle jiggle area. So for example, if you enable jiggle view and play the timeline back, this is very important, you have to play the timeline back, otherwise you don't see the jiggle. Then you can see some kind of jiggle appear to the muscle. This is very cool, and this is once available for the render, and yeah, second for the view. First available for the render and second for the view, and you can you can make some adjustments to customize your jiggle controls. For example, if you press jiggle view and play this back, you can see that yeah, some kind of weird stuff happens. This is just because we don't have made any adjustments with the controls here, with the attributes. Let's first bring up the jiggle control to a value of, let's say, 0.9. You can see the jiggle is not so heavy as before, because this value controls how much jiggle affects our object. If you would bring this to 1, you can see nothing jiggle affects our, or no jiggle affects our object. So let's bring this back to 0.9, and this is a good value to work with. It's not enough, but not it's not too much, but not too less as well. So the jiggle mass is of course the weight of this muscle. So if we bring this to 1, you can see this is the gravity more affects this muscle. If you bring this to 0, what you should never do, then you can see it works, but no gravity affects this muscle. So let's bring this back to 1. And the jiggle stiffness is of course how stiff this this muscle is. So let's bring this, for example, to 0.7. Yeah, okay. And okay, let's bring this back to 0.8 or something like this, 0.85. That's a good value. 0.85, okay. And you have the jiggle damping. The jiggle damping is good for damping the control of the jiggle. This is very useful if you, for example, bring this up to 40. You can see this works just fine. And yeah, you can do some very cool stuff with it. This doesn't look so heavy. Okay, nice. Let's enable this, and if you have some issues, you can play this back again. So this looks much better. And yeah, you can play with these attributes around, but yeah, if you have found some nice options. Okay, let's just deactivate this option. Then you have the possibility to mirror muscles, and first of all, if you convert your object to a muscle, something gets created, and this is called a group. At the top right corner, you can mostly see your outliner. If you don't, for example, if you have some kind of this here, then you can just grab one of these little icons here at the top right of your window and just drag this down. Then you can go here up to this little button, which is everywhere in your panel. Here, for example, here, here, or something like this. Everywhere where there's a window, and just change this to the outliner. You can find this outliner here at the bottom under properties. Outliner, and you can see this looks very good. I would flip this to the top, okay. And then you can go to all scenes, or click this, and go switch to groups. Now you can see every groups in our scene. First you have the biceps L group, and this is very important if you reposition your muscle. Then you can select this group and move this entire group. You can also select all components and move this, but this is a little more effort. So let's just select these, and you can just move them, or you can just select the muscle biceps group. And these groups and these objects are named, the names are used which you tipped or entered in this muscle name box here. So you have first the biceps itself. This is under the biceps armature. Here's the biceps underscore L. Then you have the biceps underscore L underscore armature. That's the bone here. Then the biceps underscore L underscore stretch control. This is this thing here. This controls the stretch or squash. And yeah, that's everything. Fine. Okay, good. Then you have the ability to mirror muscles, as I said before. Just collapse these little bars here. Then you can, for example, select your muscle group. Make sure you the active object in your scene is the biceps itself. So select it and make the biceps such a yellow dot here. And then you can, for example, mirror X to X. And you can see there's another group. Because of the mirroring function in Blender works a little difficult, you have probably some problems with mirroring these to the complete other side. I have to say that the muscle mirror is not completely finished. It's in the testing phase. So for example, with the delete muscle attributes button, there are some problems. So yeah, I could show you this. For example, bring this here and delete muscle attributes. You can see there's an error, but yeah, this is just in the testing phase. This of course works with the delete muscle attributes button, the original bone, but the muscle mirror selected muscle attributes are just in testing phase. So they are working, but sometimes there are some issues which get been solved. Of course. By the way, if you buy this muscle attributes add-on, you every time I update this add-on, you will get this also for free. So that's pay one and have it forever. Also the updates included. So okay. Then you have the delete muscle attributes button. If you press this, all attributes, for example, all modifiers and the soft body and all drivers and the custom properties of this object, all of these stuff gets been deleted. So okay, let's collapse this, and you have to select your muscle for this. This is very important. So let's just press delete muscle attributes, and now you can see this object is separate. Now you can select your group and delete this, and you can see you have your object with no attributes at all. No shape keys, no properties or stuff like this, and this is not anymore a muscle. Okay, fine. Now there are some very important options. These are two binding methods. This is first the slide bind and second the sticky bind. The sticky bind is, for example, new, and this is because the sticky bind option is very stable and good for making holding volumes. The slide bind or the shrink wrap modifier was a little too okay, let's bring this here back to the middle of the center. The sticky bind option was a little too with the shrink wrap modifier there were some problems, but this sticky bind works with a hook modifier and this works just fine. So for example, let's bring up a plane. Or no, let's bring up a cylinder. Yeah, this works better. Rotate this cylinder by 90 degrees. I will show you later how to bind, I will show you soon how to bind these, how you can work this with a complete rig. But first of all, let's just make this here. Okay, let's say this is an arm, and you want to get this arm deformed by this muscle tool, by this muscle. You can see if you squash this, some of this muscle gets brought down. So let's scale this down. Okay. For example, now you can now there's the point where you can, okay, yeah, I didn't return this too much, so the muscle don't have any attributes at all, as you can see. That's because I deleted the muscle attributes. That's what this was a failure. Okay, let's just delete our biceps, for example, again, and bring this cursor to center and add a cube. Scale this down, make a new muscle, This looks very good. And yeah, good, fine. Now let's just convert this to a muscle. Let's call this just for the view biceps underscore. Oh no, let's call this femur. Fine. Convert to muscle. And now you can see everything just works fine. And yeah, let's unhide our nice arm here. Bring this down. Let's perhaps scale our femoris group. Okay. So the muscle, I will show you why this is the case. So let's just scale our controller. Perhaps it's too big. You can here go to the empty controls and scale this down. Perhaps make this controller X-ray so you can view this all the time. Let's bring this here a little back. Now let's just select our muscle here, the muscle object. And this is very important. You have to first select the muscle object and then the skin, and then you can press slide bind. There's a tooltip under it. If you hover this button where you can see what this means. Select first muscle, then skin. Okay, we did this. Oh, did we this? No, we didn't do this. So first muscle, then skin, and then slide bind. You can see you get automatically switched into the weight paint mode. This is because you have to paint weights for the for the slide bind. So let's just switch to our vertex groups. You can see the femoris slide vertex group gets defined, and now you can go to add, increase the radius and the strength perhaps a little, and draw your weights. These weights are just for where the muscle affects our skin. Okay, and this looks kind of cool. And now, as you can see, for example, if you can go to the modifiers, everything here was updated, and yeah, you have the femoris shrink wrap modifier and the vertex group. Everything here was adjusted for you. And if you scale this, for example, make the object invisible, the muscle becomes visible on the skin. But as I said, this is not okay. Let's select our muscle, make this muscle visible. Now you can see the options again. Let's increase the volume. And yeah, select our control. Yeah, this looks very good. Perhaps if you select or add jiggle, bring some options, for example 40 works here for just fine, 0.5, jiggle mass 1, and jiggle control 0.9. And play this back. Let's set some keyframes just for visualize this. Here. And bring this back. Okay, now the jiggle doesn't show up so much. So let's bring this to this point. This should do. Okay, no, the jiggle is a little too less. So let's do 0.8. Okay, now this should work. Now you can see now the jiggle. Smooth this. As you can see, now the jiggle, okay, works just fine. And yeah, now there's another option how to bind muscles, and this is the Let's unhide this. And this is the sticky bind option. How you can use this, how do you use this, I will show you in a second. So let's just unbind this. To unbind, this is a very easy. Just delete your shrink wrap modifier and go to your object data and delete the vertex group. This is everything. Now we have a well animated stuff here. Now how you can activate sticky bind. Let's just make this here a little smaller. The same way, just select first the muscle and then the skin. Then you can press sticky bind and you get a femoris sticky vertex group. And yeah, one little thing, jiggle does not work with sticky bind, so you have to add sticky and slide bind if you want to see jiggle. So let's add this kind of stuff here, and let's blur this. And as you can probably see on the modifiers, there's a femoris sticky modifier. That's the hook modifier, of course, and if you see, this modifier works just fine. There are some problems because you can, of course, change the fall off or the force to make this not so big. This looks very good if you, for example, add a subsurface modifier. And sticky is not so good for the biceps, for example. It's more for the other muscles, for the, let's say the chest muscle or the shoulder or the neck or something like this. The neck, not the leg. The leg muscles or the the leg muscles. There you should use sticky bind, slide bind, because this looks much nicer. And yeah, now you can see how this works. Okay, this was sticky bind. Perhaps if you are not, if you don't like the result, you can just add some more weights, or you can edit your weights. So, for example, here's a little too much. Let's bring this down. Okay. Yeah, this looks fine. And now I will show you how you can, this is just because the muscle is at the bottom, but this wouldn't be if you add this to an armature. So to show you this, I open just a quick scene which I made. He is a kind of werewolf, and this werewolf has practically a skeleton. I modeled the skeleton, and all bones are parented to the joint, to the armature. And yeah, this should be anatomically correct. The everything here works just fine. Also the leg. Okay, nice. And what is the advantage of this skeleton? That's because the body, the regular body of you, don't works or doesn't work with the joints. We don't have these normal bones, these normal bones here. We have a skeleton, not the blender bones. We have real bones. And these meshes here are visualizing those real bones. For example, if you look at your back, you can see there are some deformations on your vertebra, for example here, these kind of stuff, or your scapula, for example. These are some visual bones in your body. And to visualize this, I made this skeleton here just to make some kind of stuff. And also the muscle, or your ribs, for example, they are also visible in your body. your skin. The clavicle, for example, here, there are some muscles bind to the clavicle, and you can anatomically see, for example, if you go and see a reference, okay, the deltoid muscle is, for example, the deltoid is the shoulder muscle. The shoulder muscle is, for example, connected to the clavicle, but where in our, if you perhaps, let's switch back to groups and unhide the skeleton. If you perhaps now want to see where of the clavicle is this muscle, this bone here, you can't just paste this on any thing. So you can just make this anatomically correct if you have a skeleton. Okay, fine. That's not needed, but this is very helpful. Okay, let's go and switch back to our werewolf here. This werewolf is already parented. You can see fine. All of this stuff works here. Okay. I think let's just make a short animation and later post the muscle bones. So, okay, let's just move this here back just to quickly show how this works. Okay. Now let's bring this here back to the front. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, fine. And yeah. Now let's bring this back to its standard position. This was this kind of one here, and let's just make a muscle. So, for example, let's first make the biceps. That's very standard. Biceps is the bone in your arm. The one of these bones in your upper arm, if you don't know what this is. And let's just scale this out and yeah, make some kind of biceps. How this roughly looks. You can use, of course, some anatomically correct, okay, smooth, anatomically correct muscles, model them, but this is not needed in this example. So let's reset group name. Now here's the name. Let's call this biceps underscore L. If you don't want to use this mirror option, you can just simply duplicate this muscle and then first add perhaps biceps underscore L, convert to muscle, and then select the second one and call this biceps underscore R and convert this to muscle. Now you have the biceps R and biceps L group. Let's select our biceps R group, bring this here. You can see this a little better. So first let's rotate this so that you can posit this very good. Negative 90 degrees. So let's bring this up here. So that this roughly fits our object model. Now let's go to the transform channels and yeah, let's see how this. Okay, let's, for example, scale this down to 0.1. Okay, this doesn't work because we don't have the muscle group selected. If you want to scale this, you have to scale the dimensions. Okay, let's bring this down to let's scale this on 0.5. I do this so carefully because of the mirrored muscle, so that these both looks similar. Okay, you can also use the snap option, snap to option. So let's first hide the skeleton, select the biceps, rotate this. Okay, fine. Let's just bring use snap to vertex. First you have the increment here, but you can just switch this to vertex to just snap these things here to their points. Okay, nice. Let's do this quickly for the other muscle. Okay, fine. Let's bring this here to the top. Let's scale this. Reposition this. Fine. Okay. Let's do the other stuff here also with this muscle. And let's bring this here to this. And now you can see you have roughly some muscles. With a shift tab you can activate or deactivate the snap. So let's bring this a little down, and let's bring this a little down. Then you have a little gap between, or a little this here up. Okay, let's parent this to our, parent the controller to our, not this, this is the active object. Okay, nice. To our lower arm bone. Oh no, 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 I have a skeleton. Okay, but I show you this for just the armature. So, and now you can do this with the upper arm. And as you can see, if you move this, everything works just fine. The muscle deforms correctly. And yeah. Now you can do this with the opposite side. Bone and this to this. Bone, and as you can see, everything works for the other side too. Fine. Let's just select our muscle here now and bring this up to 20, for example. 20. And now let's increase the base length to, let's say, 1.2. or 1.1. And 20, of course, stays, and here also for 1.1. Okay, nice. Now let's see how this looks. A good tip is just to scale this muscle so much, and therefore we could use the shape keys. So let's just scale them on the, let's use proportional editing, and for the fat we could scale this. So same thing with this muscle here. Oh no, we didn't have selected our fat shape key. So let's bring this here to this, and let's just select our muscles. Let's go to muscle shape and bring this shape here up to the fat value. If you want to compare these two, you can do this, of course, to get the same result, but I highly recommend you to not make these both completely mirrored, because in the real life nothing is completely mirrored, only roughly. Okay, now let's see our skeleton. And if you play this back, you can see the muscle follows. Fine. And now what you can do, you can just select your muscle, then your skin, and press, for example, slide bind. Then you select the muscle biceps L slide. Under the Object Data tab under Vertex Groups, go to your tools and draw the weights. Okay, this looks nice. Make this also for the opposite side, but you can do this manually. Oops. No. Options, X more. Yeah, but you can do this manually for the opposite side as well. Let's subtract this and let's smooth this here. Fine. And now, as you can see, if you hide the muscle, and perhaps if you move this, yeah, nice. Then you can see the muscle affects our skin. If you perhaps think, oh, that's not enough, I want to see more, then you can select your biceps L, was this, and go to your muscle options and increase the volume, for example, to, let's say, 30, oh, okay, 20, and increase the muscle shape, and then the volume. And if you go to the back areas, you can see now some of these bulges, and these look very good. And if you add jiggle also, then, for example, let's go and activate jiggle, unhide our muscle, select jiggle, and do some of these options, which we did first, which were very good. 40. Okay, let's just load this in the cache. Okay, nice. Perhaps this is not so much jiggle, so let's just increase this to some kind of more jiggle. Let's bring this value a little down. Yeah, this looks better. Okay, fine. You can, for example, add a vertex group for this jiggle too. Just go to your, just add a vertex group, select your muscle here, select a vertex group, for example, something like this. Add this vertex group. Let's call this biceps underscore L underscore jiggle, and let's press the sign. Let's go to our physics button, and more important is that you go to soft body goal and import this here. Now you can see only this area is affected. Okay, nice. You can do this for the opposite side as well. And now you can, I will show you an example for the sticky bind. Okay, I know this tutorial is a little longer than I expected, but yeah, okay. I hope this is useful. I make the apps bone for this. So let's just add some kind of this here, and add, for example, let's call this abdominis. This is the stomach bone, the stomach muscle. Okay. Perhaps to get more detail you can just extrude individually. No, where is this? Extrude individual. Okay, nice. And you can here go to individual origins and scale this down. Now you have this little muscle. Then you can go to muscle and convert abdominis, and you can see this works just fine. Let's select our abdominis group and yeah, our skeleton, and bring this here to the snap to grid and bring this here to your stomach. Unhide this and yeah, bring this here where you want it to be. I choose this because let's make the stretch control a little smaller. I choose this because okay, where is it? Here. And bring this here to the top. So you can just go bring this down and bring this a little back. Let's unhide our body. And perhaps scale this a little bigger. Let's go select these and bring these a little back. Same for the top part here, the bottom part here. Okay, nice. Then you can just do this things like you did before. Unhide, first select our muscle, and for this I made the experience that this is first very good if you bring the object first and in extreme pose. So for example, if you want to select sticky bind, then there could be some issues if you don't bring this muscle first in its extreme opposite pose. So the pose where you, oh, I didn't bound them anyway. So first the muscle, then this, and then the controller, and then this. Now let's see. Okay, nice. First you have to bring this in extreme pose where the muscle stretches. Okay, and then you can bind. Because since this object, since this pose, the muscle, the hook works, and otherwise there are some perhaps things where the muscle, the skin gets soaked inwards. So let's press sticky bind. You have the abdominis sticky. Let's just draw some stuff like this. Blur this. And now this could be a little too strong, but you can just play with these options around. Okay. Yeah, you can see this looks a little harsh and a little too heavy. But if you perhaps go here down to your abdominis sticky modifier and increase the fall off, and perhaps play a little around with the weight painting. Let's go to our abdominis sticky. You can see this is a little heavy. Let's bring this here back. And just blur this. Okay. Okay, fine. You can choose if you want to bring this a little back, or if you want to increase here the force. If you move the force to 0, then this is the regular, and if you bring this back, you can see that this is the muscle with which deforms this. Okay, perhaps by default this looks like this is brought up, but let's go to the sticky and let's just add this here from this point. And yeah, this is everything here is from now on whole to you, how you to make this perfect or look better. Yeah. Now this is up to you. But you can see this looks yeah, you have here this kind of muscle at the stomach. Okay, perhaps we can do some animation as well. Local scale, bring this here back. Okay. And as you can see, if you bring, for example, a shrink wrap modifier down and bring this up, and how this muscle affects the skin. Here's an example how this looks without, and here with. You can see that there's some volume which gets holded, and these little things here are just because of the vertex group where you have to play with. As you can see, now it goes away. And yeah, if this is too slow or something like this, you can just increase the force to make this even bigger. And yeah, but this is how this works. And as you can see, everything works just fine. If we would hide the complete armature, and perhaps bring this resolution down, you can see that these muscles are working just fine. Okay, and this was a short presentation of my Muscle Tools add-on, and you can of course do this for every stuff here at the back neck of this muscle, or the shoulder bones, or the this area, or this, and everything you want to want a muscle to be. You can do this, of course. Of course, you can mix you can mix sticky bind with slide bind, and yeah, this is also a nice feature. But I think this should be enough for today, and I hope you liked my tutorial about this. You have a free version as well, and if you go to my channel and look for the Blender Muscle Simulator or Blender Muscle Tools, then you have also a free version, but these are limited and not as fast as this version, and this have not so many options to do. Okay, but I hope you have enjoyed this, and you can do something with this. And I hope you like this. Okay, thank you for watching, and I hope you see us in the next video. So see you then, and bye.